Lots of ramifications to this case, and for more on the Argentinian debt default, let's check it with Phil in D.C. Phil.
Yes, we have an expert sitting right here, Arturo Porzecanski, economist and professor at American University. Thank you and welcome to the show. So, you heard what happened earlier. How significant is this case?
Well, this case is of historic proportions. There's no other government in contemporary history that has gotten along so badly with its creditors. There are debts unpaid for a dozen years, including to the United States government, by the way.
I mean, this is awful because the debt was partially refinanced by the agreement of previous bondholders. Essentially, I owed you money, we don't want to pay you back, and so we agreed to a new settlement. But there were some that held out. From what I hear, it sounds like the ones that agreed to it are the ones that are going to get penalized the most if this takes place, if the government ends up paying out the ones who have complained in this case.
The risk is that they might be defaulted on, but that is up to Argentina. They certainly have the money to pay both the ongoing creditors and these creditors on the side, but they have said that they will not pay the holdout creditors. And what the courts in the United States are trying to say is you cannot go on discriminating. You either pay all or you pay none. That's the dilemma.
How's the markets react to this?
The market has taken it well because the session today before the Court of Appeals went more or less as expected. But the Argentine bonds and the currency are trading very poorly now for a long time.
6 months from now, 9 months from now, when this is more resolved, what do you expect to happen?
Oh, I think the courts are most likely to come back within the next 2 or 3 months with a decision against Argentina. So I would say the probabilities are that the market is correct. We will have a renewed default. Even though they can pay and settle up with the holdout creditors, I think their pride doesn't let them.
So if they're asked to pay, are you saying that they won't pay or they would pay?
They won't pay anybody rather than pay some. And
they would rather default than pay the credit.
I think they'd rather
back
default,
the bondholders.
And that's what
that doesn't make any sense, though.
That's right. That's what they told the Court of Appeals outright today. That they will not follow the Court of Appeals instructions if they are forced to pay the holdouts.
I mean, that sets an awful precedent. Argentina is very different than it was when they got into this crisis to begin with. I mean, they have money. So why would they not pay it off and have this eliminated as a risk for the country? Because by defaulting, not only does Argentina get a black mark, potentially other parts of Latin America would also face potential default risk as well, at least perception-wise.
Yeah, maybe. I think that creditors now can tell the difference between Argentina and all the other ones that are getting along well with the capital markets. But that's right. I think it's an issue of pride. They have said that they would never pay, and they don't want to go back on their word. And the problem is the society suffers.
Let's leave it there. Professor, thank you very much for coming on the show. We're going to have you back again. We'll see if you're right about this.